Hi everyone. So today we'll be discussing the differences between the presidential candidates and the running mates through policy. I will also reference the debates to do a bit of comparison between rhetoric and policy. Listening to both the presidential and vice presidential debates, I have been particularly intrigued. I tried my best to keep this kind and informative, but in being truthful, that was an impossibility. I think it is worth addressing some of my more general takeaways from each debate, and all sources will be linked at the bottom of this video. First off, I think that it is safe to say that Donald Trump was nearly annihilated in his debate with Kamala Harris, and regardless of my own issue with the majority of her policies, I think she did a beautiful job displaying a sense of empathy in the beginning of the debate for the American people. Empathy made her finally seem somewhat like a real person to me. Again, in the beginning. I was very surprised by how eloquent she was. Of course, that is up until the point that she was asked if she would oppose any restriction on a woman's right to an abortion. And I quote, "Would you agree to an end date that restricted a woman's reproductive rights?" She very obviously deflected out of fear of answering the question wrongly. In this moment, Harris either would have had to agree to some kind of trimester-based end date or made the claim that an abortion should be legal through the end of term. This would either have set some members of her own party aflame with rage and rebellion, because God forbid you say that an abortion should be illegal in any sense, or she was afraid that saying abortion should always be legal, and it would sound disgusting and disgraceful, because it is. The reason that I'm pointing out the obvious deflection, the way that Harris could not give an answer on her actual position, showed an inability to defend it. Avoiding difficult issues is nothing short of cowardice. Presidents make the most difficult decisions for our country, and if she is incapable of making choices, then she should not be anywhere near as close to the presidency as she is. And to be frank, too many of her answers later on in the debate also, disappointingly, disintegrated into nothingness. Trump, also, did not actually challenge her well on a single issue, either because Donald Trump presented much of the same rhetoric, or because of the fact that he is a terrible orator. Speaking efficiently off the cuff is not his strong point. His initial speech at the National Republican Convention was surprisingly good, but during this debate, I was unsurprisingly disappointed. I will say openly that he was not my preference for the Republican nominee, so you won't see any blind party loyalty in this video. This now brings me to our first international issue. The first issue that I'm going to discuss is the conflict between Israel and Hamas. In the presidential debate, Kamala Harris proposed a two-state solution while also stating that Israel had a right to defend itself. Now for her actual policies. I know that many on the left are anti-Israel right now, but despite Kamala Harris's apparent favor of a two-state solution, her policies have been in favor of assisting Israel. In 2019, Harris was in favor of reopening potential for the Iran nuclear deal of 2015 under Obama's administration, also called the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. This was to, and I quote, limit the Iranian nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief. Harris's progress on this was undone when Iran was proven to support Hamas and other anti-U.S. organizations. Basically, the Democratic Party thought that they had a good idea, and they were proven wrong. So they simply did what Trump did. Furthering this point, another direct quote, in 2021, she affirmed U.S. support for the Abraham Accords, which was a series of normalization deals between Israel and Arab countries negotiated by the Trump administration. I am not going to talk much about what has been said, but I thought this was particularly interesting. Another issue. She has called for a revitalized Palestinian Authority to govern a unified Gaza and West Bank. I would like to ask, how exactly do you plan on enforcing a supposed revitalized Palestinian Authority? Well, as we all should know by now, the U.S. assisting in a revitalized government in the Middle East does not work. It has not worked in the past, and it will not now. Another way in which her rhetoric does not match her actions. In July of 2024, Harris provided $12 billion in military aid to Israel. Ultimately, it seems that Harris is supporting Israel while utilizing rhetoric to feign empathy for Palestine. I am not saying that I necessarily disagree with her actions, but I do have an issue with the fact that her verbiage does not align with them. However, Trump, while in office, took certain steps and favored certain actions that, while Harris and Biden condemned them during elections, ended up either being repealed and then reinstated or being supported fully during the Biden-Harris administration. For example, Trump took the step while in office to define the Houthi rebel movement as a terrorist organization, and the Biden-Harris administration briefly repealed this until the group began attacking ships during the Israel-Hamas war. Trump also withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. Again, something that Harris and Biden were in favor of until, of course, the Hamas attack on Israel and the start of the war. Now, just to briefly touch on the vice presidential debate, Tim Walz also said that he supported the proposal of a two-state solution, while J.D. Vance simply claimed that it is the United States' position to support our allies to the best of our ability. Neither were very committal when it came to answers on the situation, but comparing each side, the Democrats don't really seem to have any path forward other than repealing and reinstating Republican policies, and this does not really surprise me. So, what is the gist of our presidential nominees in regards to the Middle East? Well, while Donald Trump during the debate was incapable of new rhetoric and seemed hell-bent on maintaining the defensive, it appears that his actual policy approach during his presidency was unable to be changed because, and I know people will hate me for pointing this out, he was right. On the other hand, Kamala Harris says one thing, but her policies claim another. I wish that this was not the case and that we could trust a nominee on these important issues, but it does not seem to be the case. I hope to be proven wrong as I continue my research, and I look forward to sharing more on the next episode. Hi everyone, I just wanted to hop on and say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found this informative and helpful in regards to the upcoming election. If you want to see more of these videos, feel free to like and subscribe. I will be doing a video every few days on a new topic, whether it's international policy, economics, or social policy. So stay tuned. Bye.